This is some fun, informative information about my birthday. So, born on Valentine's Day, and what a better place to take a Valentine's Day / birthday trip than to go to one of the most romantic places on the planet, Bora Bora. We decided last July that that's where we'd like to spend my birthday, which is on Valentine's Day. So off we go, right? We decided to go directly from DFW. I guess that was kind of stupid. Where else are we going to go from? We live in DFW. So we went from Dallas Fort Worth to Los Angeles.
Say something witty.
Something witty.
Perfect.
The Air Tahiti ticket counter does not open for 3 hours prior to the flight, and we got there with plenty of time to spare. We're kind of paranoid about that, and it's a whole lot easier and less stressful when you have more time at the airport than less time at the airport, especially when you have the benefit of going to the lounges to kind of spend your time with the free Wi-Fi and the free drinks and the couches. It's really comfortable. So because we had all of that extra time, once we, I guess, got to the ticket counter, we literally just set up camp.
This line is ridiculous, but we are pretty close to the front. Wait, you want to be in it?
Pretty close to the front.
Look at this.
And we didn't realize, or I guess when I say we, I mean me, because I do most of the air travel arrangements. I didn't realize that on Air Tahiti, you had to call them to get your seat assignment. So on most airlines, most like civilized airlines, you make your reservation and you go onto their website and you pick your seats, right? And I noticed that we couldn't pick our seats, but I was like, oh, no big deal. I guess maybe 30 days before your flight, they'll open it up. A week before your flight, we can go pick our seats. But that didn't happen. So I called like 4 or 5 days before our flight. It's like, hey, how come I can't get a seat assignment? They're like, oh, well, you should have called, because that's how you get seats. And by the way, the flight's full, so I don't know if y'all can get seats next to each other. Oh, and we do notice that you bought the seats, over 6 months ago. So show up at the counter, and maybe, since they hold back 25% of the seats until, time of check-in, perhaps you can get a seat next to each other. So that's why we were glad we were at the airport so early, because we were camped out in line. We were there that 3 hours before, so as soon as they checked in, we were able to get 2 seats next to each other, which was fine. We spent about 3 hours in the LAX airport, which was really neat, and you'll probably see in the video, is that we were there over some Chinese New Year celebrations. So you'll probably see some really cool stuff that they had going on at the LAX airport, which was really neat. Also, while we were waiting, because we are American Express Platinum members, they do give you a few perks at the airport. The Centurion Lounge isn't open yet at the LAX airport, so they give you credits, and we were able to grab a bite to eat at the P.F. Chang's restaurant, which was pretty good. I mean, it's P.F. Chang's. What are you going to do?
The Tahiti flight that we went on in LAX looked like a cattle pen. And then we had to take a bus to the plane.
We're on the bus. We're on the bus, Gus.
We did get stuck in the middle, so their configuration was a 2-4-2, and we actually got lucky on the flight there because we were in row 14, which was great. We were at the front of the plane, and we were on the 2 of the 4 block, right? But the lady that was sitting next to us, her boyfriend couldn't make that flight, so the seat between her and I was empty. So it really wasn't that bad. The seats were fairly comfortable, and again, I was happy because we were forward. We were on row 14, and we got to sit together, so it really wasn't that bad.
We were on the plane, about to take off.
You're still boarding.
All right, so it's got a while, but we're on the plane. They're playing Tahitian music or Polynesian music. I don't know what you want to call it. Sounds really nice. The plane is very bright.
Because of the colors.
I know, it's very bright.
Once again, call for your seats. We got stuck in the middle. We could have had two on the side if we would have called, but we ended up in the middle. Would have been nice to be on the side.
Check this out. What? Oh, it's following me. Damn it. There you go. They're still trying to follow me. Okay, baby.
It was a long flight. It was almost 9 hours. The entertainment was, it wasn't amazing. There wasn't as big a selection as I would have expected, like you see on American or on Qatar. But I mean, it kept us entertained. I don't sleep on flights. I can't. Scott slept. Then, you know, I had my iPad, so I was able to watch stuff on my iPad when I ran out of stuff to watch on the flight. The Tahiti airport, it was small and it was hot.
You wanna go back? You got plenty of time.
Enough said.
Huh? Vlogger, yes.
What is it?
Huh?
I can find you guys.
Oh, Happy Carlson. You want to see it? Yeah. Thank you.
Once we got off the flight, it's pretty easy to navigate. We were worried about our connecting flight, so I booked our connecting flight a little bit longer because I didn't know what the turnaround time would be. We did have to collect our luggage to book and to check in and rebook it or recheck our luggage for our next flight. So I guess I was glad that I had that extra time, but we still had to wait, and we didn't have access to the Air Tahiti lounge because it's only for international passengers. So that made it a little uncomfortable because there's no air conditioning. But we were there for maybe an hour or so, maybe a little over an hour. We didn't melt, and the excitement of getting to Bora Bora kept us fresh.
All right, so we're on about to go on another plane. This time we'll end up in Bora Bora. Let's go. I love this music. Can you hear it? Wait, what do you think about this plane?
Small,
Definitely an adventure.
but it's the last leg of our adventure. So once we take off, we will be in Bora Bora in under an hour. So I'm sure it will all be worth it. But this is a propeller plane, so this is going to be interesting.
Good times.
And
Good
you can
times.
see we've been traveling.
Mm-hmm.
We got travel face.
Yes.
Once you board the flight from the airport in Tahiti to go to Bora Bora, there is no assigned seating. It's a small plane, I'm thinking maybe 100 seats, and it has the propellers on it. It's kind of like just a cattle call. You get in and you walk the tarmac and up the stairs. You'll want to sit closer to the back of the airplane because that's where you get on first, and you'll unload there first as well. But yeah, it's assigned seating. So there's no assigned seating. Sorry, I got that backwards. So yeah, you get in and get off. There's no in-flight service. They'll bring you a cup of juice, and that's it.
If you sit on the left side going to Bora Bora, you actually get a great view out of the window. On the return flight, if you sit on the right side, you get a great view.
When you arrive in Bora Bora, it's actually really, really nice and refreshing. You get off of the airplane, and your luggage, you know, because the planes are so small, your luggage is almost immediately there. And they have the different resorts. There's a handful of them. There's not too many, and they're very, very easy to spot. They have their little booth set up. They're prepared. They're waiting for you. We had called the Conrad, so they knew we were coming. We set up transportation with them ahead of time, so they had our name on the list. They provided us with a pretty lay. They told us where to go once we picked up our luggage, and they, you know, were ready to greet us and to welcome us to the resort. Well, to the transportation to get us to the resort.
All right, so to get to the Conrad, after you get off the little plane, you get your luggage and you get on the boat and they take you over there. So we're getting on the boat. Let's go.
Rewind. So we had called them ahead of time. It's about $130 per person to get from the Bora Bora airport directly to the Conrad Hotel. There are other options. The option that we took was the direct option. It was about a 20-minute ride on their boat, which is really nice. The other option was less expensive, but I don't remember what it was. It involved taking a blah to blah to the blah blah blah, but it wasn't going to be a quick 20-minute boat ride directly to and from. And it's fairly warm there, and you know, we'd been traveling all day. There was no way we were going to miss an opportunity to take a direct route.
We're good? All right. You got everything?
Yeah.
Oh, Thank you. Hello.
Welcome to Conrad.
Thank you.
Please have a seat and we will offer you a welcome drink.